Hello, my name is Prime and welcome back to ATS Showcases, and today I'm doing something very different and actually a first for the channel. I am checking out a paid mod which was graciously provided to me by the author, which is Nimit. This is the Jeep Gladiator truck, or whatever you want to call it, SUV truck. This is the Jeep Gladiator, my friends. It is a fantastic mod. Now you may be wondering, Prime, now why are you doing a paid mod now of all things, and especially why a Jeep Gladiator? Well, let me say this, it is a fantastic mod, and when I was made aware of the mod, it honestly got me really intrigued to have a vehicle that is a very high quality and highly customizable vehicle as well, may I add, that you can actually haul a real cargo with, which this is the boat trailer, which is an option that you can haul with. I thought this would be a very neat mod to check out, and it has not disappointed thus far. So in terms of customization for this Gladiator, there are a couple different cabin types, if you want to call it. You have the glossy version, which just, well, as the name entails, gives a glossy finish to whatever paint job you happen to have, and then also the matte version, which you have to basically change a couple GPS options or just wants to switch a few things over, and voila, you've got the nice matte version, which I'm running today because I think it looks a lot better in my opinion than the glossy version. In terms of the chassis, basically you've got the normal rear bumper hitch, and then you've also got a fifth wheel option as well along with the rear bumper, just in case you want to, well, tow something with a fifth wheel. In terms of engines, we have three different versions, a Chrysler, Eco Diesel, and then a supercharged V8 Hemi, which is technically a swapped engine, and I am using that engine today because two things: sounds really good, at least in my opinion, compared to maybe the other ones, just saying, and also has more power. Why not? In terms of transmissions, there are 4 available. However, it depends on the engine that you are using on what transmissions options you actually have. So not all of these transmissions are compatible with every single engine. Interior wise, you technically have only one option, which is stock. In terms of colors, there are plenty of colors that are already set, different palettes, and of course you can do your custom metallic or custom standard colors as well. And on to the accessories, something that everyone really enjoys, especially with the paid mods. There are plenty of different bumper options, everything from piano black to your paint and also chrome. Various trim details, so in the grille, for example, you can go through chrome and different meshing. You can have the light bar and also a full-on roof rack, where there's actually a couple different versions of that roof rack, depending on how industrial or off-road you want to take this thing. Speaking about off-road, there's actually a snorkel feature as well that you can add to this Jeep. I should also note that this mod has a package of other mods that work alongside it. Two of the more major ones in terms of accessories would be an LED light pack and also SISL's Mega Pack. There are also different tire sizes available as well. These different tire sizes also come with different rims as well, some of which can be colored and some of which are custom designs that are set in stone. Moving to the interior, you can change the upholstery on the steering wheel, adding some red trims. You can actually change the color of the seats and interior via the interior accessories option, as it is more of a button, not an overall package. So you have the black seats, you have the brown seats too, and then also the red seats. I nearly forgot to mention that there are 2 trailer options available as of right now, one being the camper trailer and the other one being the boat trailer, which we are using today. So overall, a great mod that has plenty of options, and I would highly recommend checking it out. So I'll have the link to the mod site down in the description below. So for today's delivery, we're hauling this boat from here in Colby, or just outside of it. We're going to go the scenic route today all the way down to Riverton. I think it'll be a very, very good delivery indeed. And we're going to see how this Jeep Gladiator takes on some of the more scenic routes here in American Truck Simulator. I think it will be just fine considering we have a beautiful V8 engine underneath the hood. And if you ask me, that sounds pretty good indeed. So let's go ahead and get going here. And as we just get rolling out here, we'll just appreciate the interior detail around this truck. Absolutely fantastic. The modeling is very, very good from what I can tell. Everything seems to be running it fine as well, so I'm not noticing any compatibility issues. However, I will be honest, I did notice a bit of an issue when I was trying to, well, get the mod installed. It said that the mod overall was not compatible with the current version of American Truck Simulator. However, there was actually already basically a patch put out, so it just had to be re-downloaded, called a day, we're all good. So no harm done there. Hopefully everyone's doing well. We're marking a milestone here on the Prime Simulation channel, actually checking out a paid mod. Now, I know a lot of you will say, well, Prime, you've had, I don't want to say a version, but I will not lie, definitely maybe not been the most enthused, shall we say, about doing paid mods here on the channel, just because I've always been a firm believer of, I want to make sure everyone can at least try out the mod if at least their computer in game is compatible with it. I want to be able to give best shot for everyone to try out free mods that everyone can love and enjoy. However, when Nimit reached out, and I also had noticed the mod kind of circling around a little bit, because I do keep my eye out on different paid mods as well, just in case. But when I reached out to and looked into the mod a little bit more in depth, realized the quality that was there, and also just some of the different opportunities for a good vehicle here in ATS, because especially on the free side, the more standard vehicles, not maybe the most common, shall we say. So I thought, you know what, this is actually a very neat mod, one that has a couple trailers and nicely modeled boats as well. Something that, you know what, kind of neat to do something different as well. And so I thought, let's give it a try. You know what, no harm, no foul, I guess. And some of you may enjoy it, some of you may not, and that's to each their own. But on the bright side, we can actually accelerate a whole lot quicker than normal, and I can drive a little bit more normally in terms of a vehicle, other than this massive boat that we've got on the back here. So I guess at the end of the day, I guess it's not a whole lot different. Got the light bar on the front here on the truck. Didn't go too crazy with the customization. Got the spare tire in the back. I kept it pretty clean. I like this gray matte color here. It's a very, very clean. If you ask me, for the truck, I think it suits it quite well. But there are plenty of options, of course, as I mentioned earlier, and you can customize them as well if you so choose to. Now, again, this mod is roughly $20. Depends on your currency as far as I know, but at least for what I can tell on the listing, it says it would be $20. So again, to each their own if you feel that is worth it or not, if you want to try it out. However, I think it is definitely a good one to check out, or at least look into if you're into paid mods especially, because, well, it is a very good mod overall. Very good mod indeed. And this gives us a good chance to do something a little bit different in these ATS Showcase episodes, and do something I wanted to get back to. For those who've been around a while, you know I have done different vehicles in the past, albeit free mods, but I have done some different vehicles in the past, most notably the Ford Raptors, the first of which being silent. I called it the Tesla Ford Raptor. Actually, one of the most viewed videos on the channel still, called Let the Raptor Eat. Don't know how that episode ever took off what it did, but hey, thank you also so much for the support. I do appreciate it. However, that is a very funny episode, because I just fool around, do a bunch of random things in that video, because my plans went pretty much out the window when I realized that mod had no engine sound. So although great, it's just a little bit different than, well, normal really. But that's one. And I also did another Ford Raptor that actually had some engine sounds, and got into some stuff there. So overall, pretty cool. Done some different vehicles as well. Was, I believe, the Freightliner RV. Yes, did that as well. I've done a few things here and there throughout the ATS Showcase lifespan here on the channel to date, and I'm sure that will continue moving forward. Now, I'm sure a lot of you will ask, well, are you going to start doing more paid mods? I'll be honest. It's going to depend. It's going to depend very much so. Now, of course, I'm fully transparent in things, saying that, you know, of course, big shout out to Nimit. Sent this over for me to try out, give my opinion on it. Didn't specify, you know, there's no extra payment, nothing like that. This is full on my opinion, and that's how I run this channel anyways. I'm not going to be paid off just to say, oh, this is fantastic, because let's face it, for a lot of you, I am kind of in many ways a test dummy, if you want to call it that, for different products, and I want to go up ahead. Looks like the right lane's moving a little bit better, so we're gonna go ahead and get over there. I don't know if that's gonna really make a difference at the end of the day. This V8 is very, very peppy. Doesn't take a whole lot of throttle input to get moving here, but once we get out of Colby, we should be able to go through some more scenic roads, which I think will be a lot better. But I'm not gonna be sold out, basically, put it that way. So I am going to give my personal opinion on whatever that be, whether you want it or not. Oh, I probably should stop in. A side note here, sorry, I'll continue on in a second. Prime rib. Probably should stop in there. Maybe I get a free, do I get a free rack of ribs, maybe? Maybe, I don't know. Common name discount, I don't know if they do that, whatever. Point is, not gonna be sold out to anyone. That is my plan, that's my goal, and that's my moral. So I'm not gonna just be, oh yeah, hey, I'll say this and this for X amount of cash. That's not how I roll, and that's how I will never roll. Don't you worry about that. So although I do appreciate, of course, getting these various things sent to me, and I'll be honest, I've had other opportunities as well, which I've graciously turned aside just because I don't feel they align maybe the best with maybe intent or whatever it is, but Nimit was very professional, which I do appreciate, very on top of the game as well in terms of support and stuff like that. So only good praise for that side on the Mosser experience for my first time being a paid, technically a paid mod kind of user, so to speak. And I believe he's done some other things as well. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. I believe some other good mods, and I know there's a pretty good community behind him as well, so do appreciate that kind of loyalty there as well. But overall, been a good experience handling this thus far, and I do appreciate that one. But in terms of the future, it will depend on the mod, okay? Some truck mods maybe I will do. It just depends. It's hard. I know I like to do the truck. I'd like to do more of the paid mods, I should say, like some of the Rudas and those guys. However, there's kind of like this, I don't want to say prestigious thing about it, but I don't know. Well, we're going to see how it goes into the future. Of course, I'd be open to go through some payment stuff, but I'm just not always a big fan of doing the paid mods, especially when it's not as, I don't know, depends on the site that they're being offered from, and I don't want to have issues where there's payment, there's miscommunication and trust if it's not being handled correctly. There's a lot of areas where it may not be the best. Now, fortunately for this particular mod, it's done by, I believe it's Gumroad, if I'm correct, gumroad.com, which is a kind of a more mod community sort of site as well, so things are handled a bit more professionally there with various professional options for payment, so it's not as or legitimate options, I should say, for payment, so it's not as sketchy, shall we say, compared to some other options that are available out there around the modding community. So yes, there's options in the future. I can't guarantee that it's going to be a yes or no anytime soon either. I'm not going to become just a paid mod only channel because yes, paid mods have their pros. Obviously, there's a lot of customizations with this mod, and overall, I'd say it's actually a pretty solid mod overall. And as far as I know, there's going to be more expansion and upgrades kind of over time, at least from the little bit of, I could say the interpretation I was getting from the description of the mod on the site. Seems like there's some room there for growth with it, which I do appreciate as well, which would be free updates that you can just re-download. But again, I can't guarantee that there's going to be a ton of paid mods around here. It's just going to kind of feel it out. I honestly have to get back into some of the mods more, other than just engine mods, some of the other vehicles and trailers. Mainly, it's been because of well, all the new content around here, whether it's ATS or ETS2, some of the different games. There's been so much new content that honestly, I just need to be able to kind of get back into the zone here. And of course, I've been very busy outside of YouTube as well. I believe I mentioned in one of the past videos that I've got a lot going on right now, and you can watch one of them for more of the story. I'm not going to get into that in this episode. However, been very busy, so uploads over the next little bit will be a little bit more sparse. To be honest, it took me a little bit longer than I wanted to get this particular delivery out to the public. However, it's fine. We're here. That's all that matters, and I'm doing it on a time that, well, honestly can work for me because I can't just rush things through. There's only so much I can do. So we're going to go ahead through. Unless you have official business here. Well, we're going to continue through. I don't think we'll get in trouble. I don't want to just break the law here that says prohibited commercial trucking unless we have a reason. We got a reason to explore with a boat. That is my reasoning. Please don't say we're going to be stuck behind this car doing 15 miles an hour the whole way. Oh no, at least it goes to 35 here, which is fantastic. So yeah, we're going to just kind of ignore that because we are not technically in a truck. I mean, I wanted to do more of a scenic route through here because, you know, we're hauling our boat. We're hauling our boat somewhere. I was honestly originally thinking of just going to, you know, a lakeside area or whatever and stopping there. But however, I decided, you know what, let's actually complete a legitimate delivery with this cargo type. Also to make sure, for me at least, to see, you know, if there's any potential feedback I can give to the mod author, because that is also part of what I don't mind doing as well. Always giving my feedback and again my opinions on things, whether it's constructive or whether it's all praise and stuff like that. Overall, I can say this mod is very, very solid. Obviously, there's always going to be some hiccups here and there. Personally, I feel that maybe the metallic or the glossy, I should say, option for the cabin, which then changes, of course, kind of the look of the paint, all of the finishes. Personally feel it's just maybe a little bit too glossy. I don't know if that's maybe just personal taste. Very much could be. However, I feel like compared to some other more gloss or metallic paint jobs that are available on the market, whether it's mod or in real life, they're not as, shall we say, aggressive on that front. Well, that may be one main thing, and who knows, that could be also being worked on in the background. The other thing would be just engine sounds, although this V8 swapped engine is pretty cool. Some of the other options, I did try out the base Chrysler version. It was pretty quiet. I think it obviously sound pretty realistic from what I can tell. Personally, I don't drive a Jeep. I actually haven't driven or owned a Jeep before, so I can't necessarily say for certainty how realistic it is, but from what I've heard from being around Jeeps in life, it is actually quite realistic. I honestly haven't tried the EcoBoost or the Eco Diesel, whatever that other version was. However, if maybe the sounds, of course, that may actually already be known, but maybe the sounds could be improved just slightly as well. But again, that's all things that can come in time. I'm not gonna, harp on a mod like this for maybe not being the full complete package when it's not maybe necessarily designed to be right away. It's hard to say. I'm not gonna rat on it much because, to be honest, the actual functionality of it, which is the main design and the fact that it runs and it doesn't just break everything, A+. Looks very good, game runs well, even through an area like this. When that's the other part, want to make sure that, performance isn't being impacted by the fact that, well, we've got a bunch of trees, we've got a bunch of elements loading in. It's in a pretty new area of the ATS map, so overall quality is quite high. So that's the way it is. That's the way it is indeed. We got some people doing selfie stick over the river. Probably launching my boat in somewhere down here. Also was considering doing the camper van or camper trailer, depending on how you like to call it. I was considering doing that delivery as well. However, I like the proportion of the boat trailer to the truck more so than the more small camper trailer. All fairness, this is a pretty good sized boat. Is it the most realistic for a Jeep Gladiator? I don't know. I'm sure it can probably handle a boat like this. Just depends. Just depends indeed. I wasn't expecting the AI to stop completely there. Those guys are all turning. I think we can go ahead and get out. Luckily, we do have some pretty good acceleration here. Foot to floor. Goes pretty quick. Does this Jeep. That V8 does wonders for it. It is actually pretty impressive, the performance difference between the different engines, from what I can tell at least. The 700 and some horsepower, what's supposed to be the Hemi swapped of the Jeep, does actually improve the overall handling, really, in the drivability of the truck, which is very happy to see, I must say. Kind of makes it not as lethargic, which is probably good for this this boat delivery, just because, well, got some hot springs down there. It's just a little bit more, well, video friendly, shall I say, for myself. Not always getting so annoyed with how things look. Looks like a little camper area in there, which I could discover, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to keep moseying on down to Riverport, whatever it is. I honestly just lost the name of it. I'll figure it out once we get close enough where I can see the name of it. I can never remember those things, which is bad of me to say, but it's difficult when I've got, what's that cop doing? I have no idea anymore. Should have gone in the gap. Should have gone in the gap. We'll see if the cop goes ahead and turns. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead. Just perfect. And then we shall do the same. Something I find actually kind of interesting is that the regular horn Oh, I accidentally shut off the truck. Don't mind that. little bit of mushy buttons on the wheel right now. D-pad. Oh, D-pad's not necessarily working greatest. I also hit the high beam flash. Pretty good noise in the cab for that. But the standard horn, just a nice car horn. But then the actual air horn that they have in the truck. Siren. Beautiful stuff, if you ask me. I don't mind that one at all. So it looks like if we go through here, in theory, no one should be mad at us. Must not be. I don't know if that's technically the exit of the park yet or not, if we're still going down there. It may actually be more or less out of it now, but yeah, pretty funny. I don't know if there's plans then to do a police version in the future, because I can't seem to find a light bar. I don't know if that's going to be added in as things move forward, but the siren is a nice addition, if you ask me. I don't mind that at all. A good old Prime simulation, a little bit of not as realistic, you know, just or something illegal. Just, you know, blip and get our way through all traffic, no matter what. I should have done that back in Colby when we were sitting there. Or Kobe, whatever. I think it's Cody, right? Is Cody? Yeah. I'm gonna double check here. Yeah, it's Cody. Colby's down in somewhere else. I've got so much on my mind right now, friends. I do apologize. There we go. This is more of the lake that this boat is kind of worthy for, I'd say. So I was kind of thinking, because I, of course, kind of remember this area from doing deliveries down here in the past, and I do have a decent knowledge for where some of the areas are that are nice and scenic here on the map, because I do appreciate them quite a bit. I was considering to kind of stop down in this area originally, when I kind of thinking this general area, and then, you know, maybe going down somewhere water. But I decided, you know what, let's complete it out. As I mentioned earlier, just kind of complete a delivery through. It's always good to do, kind of do a full cycle of the mod as well, so everyone can tell. And overall, everything's going fine, as you can tell. Maybe not the commentary. I don't know. Some of you, I must say a huge thank you. Lots of compliments, especially recently, on the commentary and quality of the videos. I can only say thank you to that. I guess it's a testament to the amount on my side. I just appreciate that the work that I'm doing is being appreciated, and also at the same time, just the amount of fun I'm having as well is translating through the videos, which is very, very good. And I like to try and keep stuff a bit more natural. Obviously, some things are a lot more, I guess you could say, more radio-esque or fully what would appear to be scripted, but I can assure you nothing is scripted. Even Prime News, believe it or not. Some of you may not believe me on it. I do Prime News, sometimes a one-shot, but most of the time I will be honest, I split it up a bit. But it is just off the cuff kind of, I create the flow. It's just like these videos, these ATS showcases or any longer form content for that matter, generally speaking, is not, you know, cut up and edited and so on. I'm not doing a voiceover afterwards. This is live as I drive, how it is. So whether that's good or bad, sometimes there's definitely the pros and cons to it. Some episodes are better than others, I will admit that. However, the Prime News videos, which I know a lot of you may think, oh, he's probably creating scripts for it and reading it. Well, that may be smart at times, but no, I am not. I am basically summarizing the blog post, paraphrasing a few things for the more particular information, and that's why I give full credit to SE Software. Of course, I'm using the visual content, but also a lot is the information, because I'm not necessarily doing extended research externally for the Prime News videos. However, that's all just off the cuff. It's all just like these videos, so whether it's good or bad, you're gonna get it. So I know some of you who've been around a while will know kind of the seasons I've gone through in commentary, especially in the quality of, well, the vocals. Whether that's the microphone, whether that's how I talk, the coherent and coherency, I guess you could say, of just everything, the conversations, my clarity in the voice, how I talk, just how clean and not having all the, you know, likes, all that kind of stuff where I would notice it afterwards. And of course I still do those things. I'm human after all. I am not a robot. But like there I did. It's just a natural transition, and it's just how a lot of us speak. Trying to eliminate some of those, keep it a little bit more clean and professional is something that I've been working very hard at. It's been beneficial in my personal life as well, I will say. So on top of being able to, enjoy doing YouTube and stuff like that, honestly, doing this in the commentary, the different narration has helped a lot outside, enough so that various friends and family and colleagues and so on have noticed this a pretty stark improvement in how I talk. Obviously, I still talk how I always used to before, but with a little bit more of a refined edge, shall we say, which is kind of neat. Of course, I don't always talk like I'm doing a radio show or anything like that, and I don't always want to come across as I'm doing like that. But at the same time, a lot of these episodes, well, let's face it, I'm talking to a screen, okay? And I'm talking to you, the viewer, in advance, and generally it's not too much in advance, at least if you're watching this in terms of whenever a video releases. But at the same time, I'm also making sure that this video doesn't just die necessarily right away. It's something that can be turned back to, and conversations can still be kind of relevant, or almost like a podcast style, further into the future. Because, well, as the channel continues to grow, I know a lot of new people are watching the original content. For those, of course, who weren't here at the beginning, because I didn't just blow up. It's kind of, the channel has been a very steady progression, and now a very steep progression upward, which, once again, huge thank you to that. I do appreciate, once again, all the support. We got a little bit of construction here. Dirt section of road. They're going to be repaving, I guess, here, which is kind of neat that it's actually added here in the map. I don't actually remember this. I don't know if I've driven on this particular road or if this is a recent update. I just don't recall, maybe. There's a lot of areas of map where I'm trying to cover. However, it is just, it's really nice to see now the stark growth here on the channel. And yes, the older videos, very painful. But I had to start somewhere, right? As we all do in life, whether it's, career, schooling, just life in general, doesn't really matter. Everyone starts somewhere and ends somewhere else, and 98% of the time there's going to be improvement in some way or another. So it's just the way it is. There's natural progression, and there's definitely a lot to learn about content creation, I will not lie. And so that's why doing a video like this, where we can just chat, explore, have some fun, check out something new. Kind of all about news here in this episode. It's just kind of nice. It honestly is nice, and it's nice to look back and see where I've come from. And yeah, there's been a steep learning curve, and it's going to continue to be a steep learning curve as things progress. And of course, there'll be more development on my end, just making sure that, I'm staying on top of things. There's always changes in this world, and it's a matter of, can I stay relevant with it? And I think 2024, for those who are maybe not watching this in 2024, of course, this will be releasing prior or around 2024. Actually, I don't even know when this will be releasing now. As of recording this, we're only a couple days out from the new year, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see when this video goes live, because I am kind of busy. However, 2024 in general, especially early on, is going to be kind of monumental here around the channel. We're implementing a few new things, going to be working and showing off a few other things as well. So really excited for what's to come, and hopefully everyone is excited as well, and will stick around for the journey, which I'm sure a lot of you will, and there'll be plenty more to join the journey as well. I am sure of it. But I do appreciate all the support, and it allows me to do things like this. And also, of course, big thank you once again to Nimit, giving me access to this mod to do a showcase with. I'll probably do more in the future as well. Oh, we got a bus stranded on the side of the road. Looks like it's smoking a little bit. Overheating, maybe? Not quite sure. Probably do other videos with it as well, and we'll see how things progress. Obviously, there's going to be other paid mods, but I will say, at least from what I can tell, because again, things always change. We never know really what's going to happen in the future. I will still probably lean more towards the free mods where everyone can enjoy it. It's just kind of where I've always kind of had a bit of more of a slant to. Especially with the frequent updates nowadays, it's a lot easier with the free ones. And really, there's not really much of a detachment, to be honest, if it doesn't get updated. I'm not saying that this is a main concern with this mod, but in general, it's just more of like a common sense thing, to be honest. It's just the fact of it. Some paid mods have kind of been abandoned. Unfortunate, but it's the way it is. And you just got to kind of roll with it, I guess. And that is a bit of a risk you take. Not saying that it's a major risk generally, but it is a risk nonetheless. And that's just up to your judgment, simply. So I will generally try and stick with the free mods from the Steam Workshop, something that's kind of known and true. But occasionally, as of today, we're going to start maybe doing some more paid, or shall I say sponsored in some ways, but not. Some different mods, paid mods and stuff like that check out and showcase and kind of get my opinion on. So for example, as I mentioned earlier, this Jeep Gladiator, very nice mod. I think for what it is and what it provides to the game, very, very nice. It gives a lot of opportunity for different deliveries. We can actually step up the pace here, so we can actually get moving on to our delivery point as we are out of the park. Overall, it is a wonderful, wonderful mod in my eyes. It works very well. It's nice to have just a normal vehicle. So for those who want to roleplay more of a an owner-operator situation where you have your truck parked somewhere and you drive a personal vehicle or more just standard civilian car, shall we say, to whatever it's a lot or wherever the truck is parked, albeit have to be a garage or something, because you can't have multiple vehicles spawned in American Truck Simulator as of right now, unless if you're in a multiplayer server and you have a couple accounts. However, you can still kind of roleplay driving, living somewhere else, driving to your garage, then spawn the truck and go from there. So that is pretty neat. It allows that opportunity, and there's some other vehicles out there as well. Other mods that I'm just either haven't tried yet or whatever that are still good. However, yeah, it's Riverton. Sorry, side note that we're going to do it. Figure it out once I saw it on the map, obviously. It opens up a lot of doors, and of course you can haul with it, which is neat, and you do make money off these deliveries. They're not just a point A to point B. You customize the trailer with the boat. The boat, as far as I can tell and from what I found, can only be put on when you actually have the delivery. Now, in full transparency, didn't necessarily check too in depth with the camper van to see what kind of cargo is available with it. I'm not 100% sure if there is, or if it's just more of a you tow behind. It tows behind the truck and you kind of just have to role play it more. Honestly, not 100% sure on that front. However, with the boat trailer, I think it's my go-to more with this vehicle, from what I can tell, and I kind of would lean towards it more anyways, just because, well, you can actually haul something with it from more first glance, and of course you can haul with it empty as well if you're doing more like almost a hotshot trucking sort of thing. You're hauling someone's boat for them, and I guess it could actually lead into a bit of a even more entry position for a truck, doing these little smaller deliveries and then work your way up to a semi and go on from there. So there's lots of options with the truck here with the Jeep, and I think it's kind of cool overall. Finally rolling into Riverton here. We're gonna actually move up because that truck is not pulling up for whatever reason, just standard AI stuff, I guess. Good old AI here in American Truck Simulator. We'll have to see as things progress. I'm going to assume SCS Software will do a revision to how the AI work. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hoping. Oh, we don't want to accelerate too hard. Truck ahead after all. It's because if they do suffer at many points, the logic in many cases is not there, because many would argue that there really isn't any logic, and that's just the way it is. Now I think we have to go up to the next intersection, which is unfortunate because there's a bit of a traffic jam here. Can I go to the right? I think I can. I'm gonna go out and around, go through the intersection, floor it. There we go. Yes, we gotta go left here. Do a little bit of a dip and dive through the traffic as we can in a vehicle like this, which I do appreciate. indicator didn't turn off. Must not have turned my wheel hard enough. But anyways, it's nice to do a vehicle like this, and yeah, it's kind of a different change. It gives some different options overall. And so again, to each their own. I know quite a few people already have this mod, so I'm not necessarily first to the pile here. It's highly rated, I will say, and I can see why. I can see why indeed. So it looks like we're pulling up to a delivery point. I honestly don't really know where we're going or if it makes sense for a boat, because there are plenty of delivery options, but maybe depending on where we're going, which it looks like we're here on the left-hand side here somewhere. We're pulling into this area here. Maybe we'll say the manager wants a new boat. We're dropping it off for him. Maybe that's what we'll class it as. So we'll go ahead and roll through here. Beautiful. Yeah, we'll say the manager of the HMS construction here. We'll say they want to have a new boat, and they're getting it delivered, which we are doing. Oh, just jackknife the boat. Okay. You know, typical Prime Simulation stuff. Highly recommend you not doing that, especially when you're pulling into the customer. You didn't see anything, Jeff, okay? Didn't see a thing. Don't report it to your boss, please. So let's go ahead and see if we can reverse this thing into the bay there. Be very easy on the throttle, because, as I mentioned, this engine and transmission combo that is with this Hemi swap, supposedly, engine, it is definitely on the torquey side, so it gets up and goes pretty quick. And it looks like we have kind of nailed that reverse, if you ask me. Go interior here briefly, and there we go, just like that. We have delivered with just enough fuel, I realized, to spare here. Burns through quite a bit of it going through that delivery. That is a kind of a big engine, so I'd assume it's not that fuel efficient. But overall, what an amazing mod. Huge thank you once again to Nimit for sending it over to me for me to check out. I do appreciate it greatly, and overall, great mod. Of course, there's always room for improvement. However, I think it is a fantastic mod, and one that everyone should at least take a look at. For those who enjoy either paid mods or at least just different vehicles, definitely check it out, because it could be one that you may be interested in. And also keep an eye out on what some of the other vehicles are available from the author as well, because some of them look pretty neat indeed. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.